Now, this week has been filled with news of the uMkhonto weSizwe party and its spats with the ANC. The ANC in the eThekwini region has vowed to deal with card-carrying members who endorsed and campaigned for the newly formed party. Is the ANC unsettled by this formation of the new party? Political heritage analyst and founder of Indonsa Yesizwe think tank, Professor Musa Xulu, joins us now. Professor, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika. I mean, a lot of questions have been posed about this as we listened and observed former President Jacob Zuma addressing the media, speaking about the impact that he wants the MK party to have, while at the same time the ANC has taken some steps to legal action, giving the MK party's founder up until the 29th of December, the deadline tomorrow, to stop using the name. As you assess this story and the use of the name uMkhonto weSizwe, what do you make of it?
Good morning, my sister. Let me start by passing my condolences to the family and friends of my brother and long-term friend Bongeni Ngoma, passed on yesterday. The issue of uMkhonto weSizwe party, I think, will end up in the courts because of the Trademark Act of South Africa, which prohibits the use of a trademark that is owned by somebody else, even if the trademark was not registered. Now, by association, uMkhonto weSizwe has always, since 1961, been associated with the ANC as its armed wing. I think the intellectual property lawyers will be very interested in this case. It's not only the name, but also the logo that they've chosen to use. Although they've tweaked a little bit, you can see that it's not an original idea, the design of it. In terms of the ANC being unsettled a little bit about the coming up of uMkhonto weSizwe party, well, that was to be expected because it has never happened in the history of the ANC that a former president decides to utilize intellectual property materials of the party to form what looks like a breakaway party. It has never happened before. And therefore, they should be unsettled about it because I'm sure they are busy studying it and so on. Now, it's not only the ANC. I saw also another party that had Kenigunene in it, yes. The Patriotic Alliance, they have expelled their KZN Premier candidate, Mr. Kanyile, for being seen associating with MK party. Although he went back to apologize, they expelled him. I think what the ANC is preparing to do now is to expel those people who are openly, and that is if they are members in good standing, who are openly associating with uMkhonto weSizwe party. Rightly so, because you would have a problem with dual membership of in any political party situation. So they are rightly so having a problem with that, and you'll find lots of such actions in the next few weeks.
Yes.
However, I don't think that uMkhonto weSizwe party, I mean, besides the ANC has dismissed them, the IFP has dismissed them, the DA has dismissed them. Those are the three largest political parties in KZN. What is likely to happen, though, is that they will attract fringe members. You know, it happens now, not only in South Africa, but in many parts of the world. Every time there's an election coming, somebody starts a political party, and there are people who will follow that to go to the first election, and after that they usually quarrel and dismember.
I think perhaps what makes this a very tricky situation is that former President Jacob Zuma has said that he remains a member of the ANC, yet he supports the MK party. And that in itself has created a level of difficulty when it comes to the manner in which the ANC should be handling the former president, and also being very careful on how to handle this matter with the elections around the corner? And I understand now that uMkhize as well as Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma have been roped in to do a lot of work in KZN ahead of elections. Do you think that their work will show on the ballot papers, or will this be a difficult one with the former president having such a good sort of dominance within KZN?
Well, he does not have good dominance. He has a presence. He had good dominance, a level of dominance when he was president of the country. And you can, at an analytical level, relate it to him controlling resources. I mean, per day around Christmas, hundreds of cars would drive to Nkandla, to his homestead. No such cars are found anymore. So it's not the same as it was, say, 10 years ago. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and uMkhize are not the only ones. They've also roped in former High Commissioner to India, former Premier Ndebele, who really played a key role in ensuring that there was peace, reconciliation and development here in KZN, working very closely with IFP leaders in achieving that. And in those years of his premiership, there was a lot of development. Even now, people talk to him about him as a champion of development. So you have a person like that as well, and a few others, but also nationally, you will begin to see a lot of national figures from the ANC, I suppose, coming down here, just to ensure that there is stability, especially with those members, those people who are the core members of the ANC. The former president has his right to break away from the ANC. I think if he feels so, but I think he may force legal challenges and litigation around the name MK Party as well as the logo that he has decided to use.
As I speak to you, I'm reading the Independent Daily News, and it says the ANC goes after members who recruit voters for the MK Party, saying that in an effort to counter the surge of the MK Party, the ANC in eThekwini, has directed its branches to now compile reports on the impact the new party was having on its members, which will be quite key. I mean, you touched on this quite a little bit ago, on the kind of impact that the breakaways will have. What sort of strategy do you think the ANC will empower here, or perhaps expand on, compared to what we saw when COPE was being formed? Do you think the same sort of planning is in place around how to tackle and deal with the MK Party, and also looking at its membership?
Well, COPE was an experience, and we were all alive when COPE was formed. We remember what happened, and etc. The issue is that, like it happened with COPE, they were able to attract and got 30 seats in Parliament in their first appearance. And then, as I said earlier also, it then began to dwindle. When it comes to voting, it's not really your members that can carry you very far, because political parties will not have membership of 10 million, etc., that the ANC has been enjoying 10, 12 million when it comes to actual voting. You rely on credibility. Are you trustable to do the things that you promise to do? Do you have a track record that we can rely on? And of course, the other issue that the ANC was going to face, and may find itself not facing all that much, is the issue around corruption. Now, if people start moving out, those that are accused of corruption start moving out of the ANC may say that their strategy to fight corruption is working, because those that are accused of corruption are getting out of their ranks. So it could be a positive thing. What I think will happen, you can expect from January massive ANC marketing around KZN, but there will be two tests. The 13th of January, when they do the January 8th statement, as well as a date in February when they launch their election campaign here at Moses Mabhida Stadium, as I hear it, Those will be the two very critical tests in the eyes of the public, because if you can't fill a stadium, the public starts saying, okay, maybe you also are dying. So those are two critical tests in the eyes of the public. But all in all, the ANC has possibly could be able to look at their track record from 1994. Not perfect, but it has been able to transform the country.
Professor Xulu, when we started, you sent out condolences to the family of the late Mbongeni Ngema, and you spoke of him as a long-term friend of yours. What do you recall as you take stock of processing his passing and also remember what he meant to you?
Well, look, as a professor of music at University of Zululand, I used to, for example, invite him to come and conduct workshops with our students on the issues of choreography and on the issues of, self-confidence and performing with self-confidence. Because even though Mr. Ngema was not trained formally, he just had this thing of being able to command and give a direction to any production. And so, for example, he would then be there many, many times. Secondly, in the Heritage Development Trust, we run House of Shaka Awards, awarding people who excel in many parts of in many fields that you can say have made KZN the place that it is. And in 2018, the Heritage Development Trust awarded him with the House of Shaka Isihlabane Achievement Award. And he became closer to us. In fact, the last time we spoke, even in Indonsa Yesizwe, he was a member of Indonsa Yesizwe. The last time we spoke was in September, when he told me this year. He was telling me that he's planning now that we can be able to take forward the House of Shaka choral musical aspect of the work that he wanted to do, but he will not be available until December because he was trying to perform to make money for the festive season and so on. Unfortunately, that meeting has not taken place.
Yeah, very unfortunate indeed. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Professor Musa Xulu, who is the Executive Director of the Heritage Development Trust, as well as a political heritage analyst.